They would have you believe that Arthur Jeffrey was the top scholar of the West in the mid 1900s regarding Islam. Now, I can't say for certain that any more was as known as him, but he certainly wasn't the most qualified scholar, just perhaps the most published or something. The Quran is the sacred scripture of Islam. It consists of material given out as revelation by Muhammad, the prophet of Islam. Islam, of course, meaning surrender, submission, implying to God, of course. During the years of his mission among his people in 7th century Arabia, and gathered together for publication by his followers not long after his death. Muhammad was the child of humble and poor, though honorable citizens of Mecca, and lived most of his life in that city which was ruled by the merchant aristocracy of the Quraysh tribe. The date of his birth is not known. It seems that his father died before Muhammad was born, and his weakly mother not long thereafter, so that he was brought up by an uncle. The latter's son, Ali, became one of the Prophet's earliest converts, the earliest male convert. Second, really. Khadijah said it first. The husband of Muhammad's daughter, Fatima, and a prominent figure in early Islam in the community of Muhammad, coming ultimately to be regarded as the first of the Shiite Imams as opposed to the Khulafa Rashidun of Orthodox Sunnite Islam. And he was actually part of that, so there's not that dichotomy. He was considered the fourth. In his youth, Muhammad seems to have worked, at least for a time, as a herdsman, and he may have gone as an attendant on some of his uncle's caravan journeys, with merchandise to the market towns in the northwest of Arabia. Most of the stories that have come down to us about his early years, however, belong to the realm of legend, not to that of fact. Well, some of them are amazing, but there's barely anything compared to after the night journey being related about. Mecca's wealth came from its caravans, which moved annually to the north and to the south along the Great Spice Road that had been traveled from antiquity. But Mecca possessed also a famous shrine of the old Arabian so-called mother goddess, which made it a center of pilgrimage, Alat, where worshippers congregated annually from all parts of the country. Its shrine, the Kaaba, the cube, was said to contain idols reverenced by all the various tribes of Arabia. It was in the midst of this merchant activity and idolatry that the future prophet grew up. Now, it throws in the word pagan, so if it's Christians that are making statues, idolatry is, somehow better. Just like the passage in the Quran where people are saying, no, it's not that people are saying worshiping Jesus is better than worshiping other things that aren't God. It's that the whole enterprise of worshiping creations is. In his early manhood, Muhammad was recommended to a wealthy widow among Quraysh as a trusty man to direct her interest in the caravans to the north, and his success in this enterprise led to her meeting him and marrying him, This widow, Khadija, many years the Prophet's senior, was the mother of all his children, save the son Ibrahim, whom he had by the Coptic slave girl Mariam. It was only after Khadija's death that Muhammad began to expand his harem. All of his sons died in childhood, but the daughters survived him. Apparently Muhammad had been religiously inclined from youth. There is no reason to doubt his interest in the various seekers for monotheism in his contemporary Arab world, the men who later tradition calls Hanifs. Nor is there any question that he was greatly impressed by what he saw within and without the walls of Mecca. For the religion of the Jews and Christians, the people of the book. Somewhere around the 40th year, he went through a crisis of religious experience. From the vague references to it in the Quran and the confused accounts we have in tradition, we can gain no clear idea of this nature of this experience, save that it included a vision of or from his Lord. From it, he emerged with a tremendous conviction of the truth of the monotheism being preached all around him, and of his own call to preach to his people what he considered to be the essential message of the scripture of these monotheistic people of the book. From then on till his death, Muhammad's life was dedicated to the fulfillment of this mission.